Good day, everyone. I hope you're having a pleasant day. This presentation shares my acquired experiences over the course of my on-the-job training period at Concepcion Carrier Air Conditioning Company, in partial completion for the requirements of Colegio de Muntinlupa. But first, I would like to introduce myself. I am Alfred G. Flores, a third-year electrical engineering student from Colegio de Muntinlupa. I was a part of CCAC's Building Management Solutions team under the Integrated Enterprises Solutions Group, and this presentation will go over the knowledge and the experience I have acquired over the course of my 2-month stay. To start, we'll look into Chapter 1, the company's profile. Introducing Concepcion Carrier Air Conditioning Company. It is also known as CCAC and was born out of a joint venture between Concepcion Industrial Corporation or CIC in the Philippines and Carrier Corporation of the United States. It is a leading provider of heating, ventilating, and air conditioning or HVAC equipment and services in the Philippines, operating the largest air conditioning facility in the country. CCAC focuses on delivering innovative HVAC solutions and services for commercial, industrial, and institutional markets. As a background, CIC was founded in 1962 by Jose Concepcion Sr., formerly known as CII or Concepcion Industries Incorporated, with the goal of providing comfort to Filipino homes through the most advanced cooling technology available. In 1995, CII built its R&D center and air conditioning plant in the Light Industry and Science Park in Cabuyao, Laguna. And finally, in 1997, CCAC was formed through a joint venture with United Technologies Corporation and its subsidiary, Carrier Corporation. This was a strategic alliance that strengthened the company's position as the emerging industry leader of air cooling solutions in the Philippines, with the vision of becoming the largest air conditioning provider in the country. One of the major highlights of CCAC's prowess is its R&D center and air conditioning plant at LISP in Cabuyao, Laguna. This decision was made to take advantage of the rapidly improving manufacturing processes, which in turn helps to create products to meet the evolving needs of their customers. The main office of CCAC is located at Kilometer 20, East Service Road, South Superhighway, Alabang, Muntinlupa City. The office acts as the nerve center for CCAC's operations in the Philippines, overseeing corporate management, sales, customer service, and administrative functions. The building also houses key support divisions such as Totaline, Order Spare Parts and Logistics, and the Office of Conception Business Services Incorporated, or CBSI. Here is the company's mission and purpose as outlined in their 2023 annual report. And I quote, "We thrive on creating happy spaces for the Filipino people, fueled by our mission to bring these spaces to life. We go beyond offering products, services, and solutions by leveraging our expertise and technology to address the specific pain points and needs of the families and businesses we serve. We promise, we promise convenience, growth, and positivity in their everyday spaces, and we envision becoming an integral part of the homes and businesses in the country. In doing so, we empower everyone to build better lives." Our chairman and CEO, Raul Joseph Concepcion, reflects on the company's spirit. Ultimately, it's all about people, focusing on human-to-human experiences and interaction, making the people we serve the center of our business and fully understanding their needs is key to our success. End quote. And here is the company's core values, and it can be abbreviated to a more remembered phrase, SHETE. As defined by CCAC, customer intimacy means we put our customers' needs first. Integrity means we do the right thing always. Empathy means we truly listen and seek to understand. Teamwork stands for we collaborate with joy for happier outcomes. And finally, excellence means we take pride in delivering meaningful results. And the last for chapter 1 is their company brand manifesto, which reads, at Concepcion, we turn every space into an environment where people can thrive. This is made possible through the help of experts who know how to create meaningful and lasting solutions. We empower the entrepreneurial spirit by seeking innovative approaches for businesses and by using the technology and innovation to make life easier, healthier, and more comfortable. Our guiding principle is to transform the everyday into something extraordinary. This is why we continually search the globe for the best technologies and innovations. By bringing global advancements to local customers, we are able to fulfill our mission of bringing happier spaces to life. With all the introduction and background of CCAC discussed, let us now move on to Chapter 2, which discusses the on-the-job training activities done over the course of my 2-month stay at CCAC. Let me first introduce you my job description at CCAC. As mentioned earlier, I was assigned to the Building Management Solutions Department under the Integrated Enterprise Solutions Group. The BMS focuses on the control of HVAC equipment within a facility and the controls integration to said equipment. I also assisted in monitoring HVAC performance and diagnosing system issues. I was also involved in energy auditing, evaluating HVAC efficiency, and operational data. The succeeding slide will highlight each major activity done. During the first week of internship, the trainee underwent a company orientation and department orientation, which aims to give a background to the company, the benefits they offer to its employees, and the proper information which every employee of the company needs to remember. The company orientation includes topics on the company overview and house rules, data management, admin services, employee benefits, data privacy, and other important points. A department orientation was also done to introduce us, the job description, objectives, and roles of the BMS department in the company. Their focus is the conservation of energy and providing solutions to improve the efficiencies of HVAC systems in establishments via Carrier's iView Solutions suite products, such as its building automation system and plant system manager. The first on-site assignment took place at NAIA Terminal 3, where an assessment of air handling units, or AHU, was conducted alongside Engineer Gasalao's associates. A central station AHU is a key HVAC component responsible for conditioning and circulating air, typically composed of a fan, heat transfer coils, filters, and dampers. The assessment involved measuring chilled water and condenser water supply and return flow rates, as well as supply and return airflow through the unit's ducts. During the process, I was instructed on the proper use of key diagnostic tools, including the ultrasonic flow meter for water flow measurements and the hot wire anemometer for determining air velocity through the ducts. The next on-site assignment was at the chiller plant of Acada, Manila, where I was introduced to the facility's chiller systems. I was tasked in measuring the flow rates of the chilled water supply and return, as well as the condenser water supply and return, using the same ultrasonic flow meter previously used at NAIA. The recorded values were compared to the previous data to evaluate system performance. An increase in flow rates was observed, indicating improved cooling efficiency following recent system upgrades. I was also assigned to assess the operational status of each chiller, its corresponding cooling tower, and associated sensors through the BMS interface in their control room. With the guidance of engineer Jimmy Gondran, I learned how to interpret equipment status on the software and compiled the findings into a spreadsheet. A follow-up site visit was conducted a week later to check for improvements in the sensor readings. Alongside the BMS contractor and the engineers Zaira and Jimmy, we inspected the controls and wiring panels. No wiring issues were found, suggesting that the anomalies were likely caused by sensor faults. I also joined the BMS team at the CCAC Kabuyo factory for the integration of a BMS system into one of Carrier's AC split type models. This provided practical exposure to how BMS is applied in Carrier products. I assisted with the wiring of key components, including the backnet gateway, the central control unit, and the main board of the indoor unit. Through this, I learned the proper interconnections and how the system is managed via software. I also contributed by identifying the correct power requirement for the backnet gateway, clarifying that it required a 24-volt AC supply, not DC, as initially assumed. Additionally, I had the opportunity to observe the factory's air conditioning production line, although photos were not permitted due to confidentiality. As a follow-up, I created a PowerPoint presentation detailing the interconnection guide for the BMS integration of two Carrier split-type models. During my first attendance at the Building Engineering Solutions and Technologies bi-monthly technical seminar, I learned the foundational design principles of air conditioning across various applications, from residential to commercial. From a design solution engineer's perspective, the process begins with reviewing base drawings to understand room layouts and dimensions. Basic estimation methods are used early on to develop a preliminary design before detailed calculations were done. The floor plan plays a critical role, serving as the foundation for HVAC design and identifying potential layout obstacles. Initial load calculations follow a rule of thumb based on room type, size, and usage. System selection is guided by the thermal load and room function, with equipment strategically placed to optimize airflow and ensure serviceability. The design is completed with detailed duct and pipe layouts, supported by a comprehensive equipment schedule. The second BEST technical seminar I attended focused on the fundamentals of HVAC control systems and was presented by engineers Zaira and Jimmy. Engineer Zaira introduced key control system concepts, including terms like input, output, controller, disturbances, and automation. She explained open and closed-loop systems, emphasizing Carrier's use of closed-loop controls, which utilize room temperature feedback for automatic adjustment. Control actions such as to position, floating point, proportional, proportional integral, and proportional integral derivative were also covered, along with their functions and applications. We also learned about control types, such as relays, actuators, and sensors, and controlled components like valves, motors, and fans. The classification of control points, analog input and output, and digital input-output were explained through an interactive activity. Finally, the seminar covered common communication protocols in HVAC systems, including Modbus, BACnet, and LawnWorks, with Modbus and BACnet commonly used in Carrier systems. Engineer Jimmy concluded with a discussion on the application of Carrier's iView software for BMS integration, highlighting its capabilities in real-time monitoring and troubleshooting. The seminar was particularly valuable to my training as part of the BMS team. Career University is a professional learning platform developed by Career, offering a wide range of technical courses, certifications, and digital resources focused on HVAC systems and building controls. It supports both online and in-person learning for engineers, technicians, and facility managers. At CCAC, all employees and interns are granted full access to the platform, demonstrating the company's commitment to continuous learning and technical excellence. I took this opportunity to deepen my knowledge of HVAC systems by completing various self-paced modules during lighter workloads. The platform's flexibility allowed me to focus on specific areas of interest and reinforce understanding through end-of-course assessments. Successful course completions were rewarded with certificates, which help build professional credibility. These are included in the appendix of my written report. This online platform proved to be an essential learning tool in bridging technical knowledge with practical application and supporting long-term professional growth in the HVAC industry. One of my major tasks was encoding the equipment list under Carrier's iView brand. This list included various components such as software, thermostats, controllers, displays, and both communicating and non-communicating sensors. The task involved transferring data from a PDF file to an Excel workbook and encoding key details for each item, such as product name, model number, their image, description, features, compatibility, and other relevant information sourced from product manuals. This was a collaborative effort with fellow interns and served as a valuable learning experience. It taught me how to properly analyze and extract technical information from manuals and organize it into a user-friendly format for internal company use. I was also assigned to assess the compatibility of the Toshiba VRF system, specifically the SMMSE model, with the current and updated BMS controllers for potential integration. The assessment involved reviewing product manuals of various BMS controllers, including touchscreen units and BACnet gateways, to verify supported communication protocols and integration capabilities. It was found that several Toshiba components use TCC-Link, a proprietary communication protocol. To enable integration with standard BMS systems, a gateway is required to convert TCC-Link into BACnet data, which can be achieved through the BN interface unit. Based on these findings, I recommended the use of the BN interface to allow the successful integration of Toshiba VRF systems into the BMS platform. Another major task assigned to me was encoding the NAIA Terminal 3 chiller log sheet data into an Excel workbook. This data, covering February to May 2025, will be used to audit and evaluate the performance of each chiller and support system improvement recommendations. The dataset included key parameters such as evaporator and condenser pressures, chilled and condenser water temperatures, refrigerant temperatures, line voltages and currents, and other critical metrics. I created trend graphs to visualize the data over time to detect anomalies in performance. A reference section was also included in the log sheet, containing expected values for each parameter, allowing us to assess whether the system operates within design limits. This task, part of Advantex energy audit efforts, taught me valuable skills in data handling, system analysis, and performance benchmarking. I also participated in an on-site inspection at NAIA Terminal 2, focusing on evaluating the performance and cooling capacity of the terminal's chiller system. Using an infrared thermometer, I conducted temperature measurements at various locations, including the departure area and boarding gates, to assess the effectiveness of ceiling and floor-mounted HVAC units. Together with my supervisor, we also measured chilled water flow through the facility's HVAC piping using an ultrasonic flow meter similar to the one used at Okada and NAIA Terminal 3. Additionally, surface temperatures of uninsulated pipes were recorded to estimate the actual water temperature inside, helping verify chiller performance and identify areas for system improvement. Now that we have completed the discussion of my OJT activities, let us now move on to Chapter 3, the engineering problem, alongside with the technical and soft skills that I have learned. During my internship, I developed a strong foundation in technical skills related to HVAC systems and controls. I gained hands-on experience in HVAC control systems and integration through my work with the BMS team, learning to configure and troubleshoot control components, and understanding communication protocols such as BACnet and Modbus. I performed BMS compatibility assessments for various HVAC equipments like chillers, AHUs, FCUs, and split-type models by analyzing product manuals, control board schematics, and wiring diagrams to determine integration requirements and identify appropriate gateways. I also became familiar with the BMS interface monitoring, learning to interpret system data for real-time diagnostics and performance evaluation. Fieldwork at NAIA and Okada exposed me to the industrial application of HVAC systems, particularly in large-scale chiller plant operations and facility cooling performance checks. Through these experiences, I learned to operate industrial tools such as ultrasonic flow meter for measuring water flow and the hot wire anemometer for assessing air velocity in ducts. In terms of soft skills, I strengthened my communication, teamwork, and time management abilities. I also learned to take initiative, work independently, and meet deadlines under pressure, especially during site inspections and technical reporting. Throughout my training, the main focus was the integration of BMS into HVAC systems and monitoring their performance. The BMS team at CCAC handles multiple projects that involve assessing whether a client's existing HVAC setup can be integrated with carriers' BMS solutions. A recurring engineering challenge is verifying system compatibility and determining the necessary components, such as controllers or gateways, for successful integration. This study highlights two specific projects assigned to us, where we assessed the client's current HVAC systems, analyzed their compatibility with BMS protocols, and provided equipment recommendations to enable system automation and centralized control. Here are the objectives of the study. Number one will be to identify the customer's HVAC units, then identify whether it supports BMS natively, and if it does, identify its communication protocol. Next will be the identification of how HVAC systems that do not support BMS can be integrated into the automated system. Then, identify what compatible equipment can be recommended for BMS integration. And lastly, provide the process on how to set up the system and the equipment for BMS integration. Building management systems, or BMS, play a vital role in modern commercial and industrial facilities. They enable centralized monitoring, control, and optimization of key building services such as HVAC systems, lighting, and power infrastructure. As industries place increasing emphasis on energy efficiency, system reliability, and operational convenience, BMS has become a core component in achieving these objectives. This study is significant not only because it addresses real-world engineering problems related to BMS integration, but also because it provided me with direct exposure to the technical considerations and solutions used in the field. The process of assessing HVAC system compatibility, understanding communication protocols, and evaluating the need for third-party gateways offered me hands-on experience in identifying and solving the practical engineering challenges. Throughout this engagement, I gained valuable insights into how BMS integration improves overall building performance, promotes energy management, and supports long-term sustainability goals. These learnings form a strong foundation in future growth in the field of building automation and control systems. Now here is the context for the engineering problem which arose during my internship. For the first project, I was tasked with verifying if a customer's Toshiba VRF system, particularly the Super Modular Multisystem E or SMMSE, was compatible with carrier's BMS hardware. I was given a list of Toshiba carrier controllers to check, including touchscreen central controllers, the compact central controller, the Smart Manager, and the Micro BACnet interface. I went through each product's installation and operational manuals to identify their communication protocols. I found that all the controllers use Toshiba's proprietary TCC protocol. Since BMS platforms typically use BACnet or Modbus, a protocol converter will be required to integrate the system properly. The second project I worked on involved checking if specific carrier split type AC units, particularly the CAV, the CUV, the 40HP, and the 40HK, were BMS compatible. I determined whether they needed special equipment, identified their communication protocols, reviewed their control board terminals, checked if a gateway was needed, and laid out the connection process. This project helped deepen my understanding of HVAC and BMS integration. For the first project, I identified several solutions to enable BMS integration for the Toshiba Carrier VRF system. First, since the controllers use Toshiba's proprietary TCC-Link protocol, a conversion gateway is required to translate it into an industry-standard protocol like BACnet. Integration into a BMS system isn't possible without this gateway in place. To address this, I recommended using the Toshiba Carrier micro-backnet interface, specifically the BMS IFBN 640 TLUL. This device acts as a protocol translator, allowing the Toshiba VRF system to communicate with the BMS by converting TCC-Link data into BACnet format. And as for the second project, I reviewed the product manuals for each carrier split type units and studied the schematic diagrams of their indoor unit main boards. This helped me identify which board contacts are used for BMS connections. Through the manuals, I also verified whether each unit was BMS ready and what communication protocol it used. From there, I was able to determine the necessary gateways and controllers to ensure proper communication between the equipment and the BMS. The complete table for the recommendations is present and can be viewed on my written OJT report. And for the conclusion of the engineering problem, during my training at CCAC, the main engineering challenge I focused on was verifying the compatibility of different HVAC systems with BMS and recommending the appropriate integration solutions. For the first project, I evaluated the Toshiba Carrier VRF system. I found that its native communication protocol was TCC-Link, which isn't directly compatible with standard BMS platforms like BACnet or Modbus. To solve this, I recommended using a protocol conversion gateway, specifically the Toshiba Carrier Micro-BACnet interface, to bridge the communication between the VRF system and the BMS software. In the second project, I reviewed several carrier split type units, specifically the CAV, CUV, 40HP, and 40HK models. I examined their product manuals, wiring diagrams, and control schematics to determine their BMS compatibility. I found that the 40HP and 40HK models are BMS ready when paired with the correct gateway and addressing modules. On the other hand, the CAV and CUV units don't support BMS protocols natively. They only provide direct contact signals, which means they require external gateways and offer more limited integration options. Throughout this process, it gave me a deeper understanding of how successful BMS integration depends on equipment design, supported protocols, and control interfaces. Being able to identify integration requirements and recommend solutions helped me to tackle a real-world engineering issue, while also expanding my practical knowledge in HVAC controls and building automation. To wrap up this presentation, let us now move on to Chapter 4, my conclusionary remarks and the recommendations I would give for the betterment of future internships. My on-the-job training at Conception Carrier Air Conditioning Company, or CCAC, under the Building Management Solutions team, has been an incredibly valuable experience. It gave me a clearer view of how a corporation operates and how the knowledge we learn in school can be applied to solve real-world engineering problems. This internship allowed me to expand my understanding of HVAC systems and how building management systems, or BMS, can improve energy efficiency and system performance. It also helped me grow professionally, developing soft skills such as communication, teamwork, and adaptability, all of which are essential as I prepare to enter the industry after graduation and licensure. CCAC's long-standing reputation as a leader in HVAC solutions in the Philippines is something I witnessed firsthand. Even as trainees, we were given full support and guidance and trust needed to contribute meaningfully to actual projects. Because of that, I can confidently say that CCAC is not only a great company to learn from, but also one I would highly recommend to future engineering students for their OJT experience. While CCAC's internship program provides strong exposure to mechanical engineering principles through HVAC systems, I believe that it can be further enhanced for electrical engineering students like myself. My suggestion is to include more hands-on electrical work that's relevant to the HVAC industry. This could cover how electricity powers HVAC systems, proper connection methods, load capacities, how to measure electrical consumption, and the energy efficiency practices currently in place. Additionally, having the opportunity to shadow experienced electrical technicians in the field would significantly accelerate our learning and help us better understand how theory translates into real-world application. By integrating these elements, the internship program would offer a more well-rounded experience and equip future electrical engineering interns with the skills needed in this evolving and interdisciplinary industry. And with that, I would like to end this presentation with a quote from Mr. Raul T. Concepcion. And I quote, "Excellence can be attained with hard work and commitment." Thank you for watching and listening to my presentation of my on-the-job training at CCAC, and I would like to also thank CCAC for the opportunity to be a part of their wonderful company. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.